All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our hometown office hours. I'm Matt. I'll be your host today. We've got Terry and Vera on the call, I think calling in as attendees today. So they'll be listening in, asking questions, answering your questions as they come in. Today, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things. I got a lot of things to cover. So I'd actually like to, Vera, have you maybe join me as a panelist today. Okay, so let me pull you up. And when Terry gets here, I want to do that for her too. So I think she may still be joining us. Can you hear me there, Vera?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, yep. Loud and clear. Sounds good. Okay, so a bunch of really exciting things to talk about today. I've been working on this idea all weekend that I want to tell you about for helping publishers sell more subscriptions. I want to get to that very quickly, but the thing that's really on the schedule today that I wanted to make sure to announce is the audio articles free month. So for the entire month of November, if you sign up at any point, then you get 1 month of free articles from that point, free audio articles on your site. We've had a ton of publishers take us up on this already, and just check it out. For a sample, you can go to this blog post on our site. You can also go to the audio articles page. And let's go ahead and watch this video. It's been about a year, I think, since I made this. So let's go ahead and give it a watch just for an overview of the feature.
Audio articles are brought to you by our hometown web publishing. Ringing the new year with audio articles. A constantly changing world requires a constantly changing media platform and user interface. Today, news and media is consumed in ways that even just 10 years ago were unheard of. A major trend in all forms of media is the desire to take in content on the go. While mobile phones and tablets have made this possible, we're excited to build upon that principle with our newest feature, audio articles. With audio articles, every article posted on your website is converted into an audio stream that can be played back at the click of a button, allowing readers to consume their news in places they otherwise couldn't, at the gym, on the go, or when cooking dinner. Best of all, this functionality is built into your existing website. Readers won't have to download any software or third-party apps to use this feature. They just open a news article like they normally would and click the play button. Contact us at ops@ourhometown.com to try audio articles today.
All right, that's audio articles. So check out this page, ourhometown.com/audio-articles. Audio articles. It basically gives a summary of what was just said in the video. The whole transcript is pretty much right there. But then it just highlights the different benefits, the convenience of being able to listen rather than read. It's a huge benefit. There's accessibility issues that are dealt with here. It makes it widely accessible to any reader coming to the site, very easy to absorb the news this way. There's a revenue opportunity tied to this. We can deliver reports on the performance through our Matimo stats program, and you can sign up for a free trial. We'll do the premium trial for you, and then if you want to continue beyond that first month, it's just $75 a month. And if you can, monetize this with an ad in that position, that should more than cover this. We have several advertisers or publishers doing that with their advertisers. Okay, so that's one feature I wanted to mention. It's on the schedule. Okay, and now, I want to pivot to a new topic, but sort of gently. So this is the Clark County Democrat, and we just turned on audio articles for them. So this is a brand new feature for them. Just want to give a quick demo. This very short article, just check this out.
Mayor Wood sworn in. Ross Wood was sworn in as Grove Hill's new mayor Monday. Holding the Bible are his daughters, Carson and Taryn. Municipal Judge Lamar Johnson administered the oath. See a story on the council meeting inside.
Okay, so as a subscriber, I can listen to every story now, and then the story inside, it would be cool if we could link these articles automatically. I guess actually, Terry, that's a quick question. So like, those are two separate stories because one was on the homepage and had its own picture, I guess, and it had a jump in it. I'm just curious, like how production looks at that type of thing. Thought I saw Terry was on. Hold on a second. Maybe not. Okay, maybe we lost her. All right, that's okay. We'll come back to that. Here's the second story.
Wood presides at first council meeting as Grove Hill's new mayor. Ross Wood was sworn in as Grove Hill's new mayor Monday evening. Local attorney Lamar Johnson, the town's municipal judge, administered the oath.
Okay, so that's the female voice that you can use. We have the female and male. Here's a sample.
Audio articles are brought to you by our hometown web publishing.
Okay, that's the sample of the premium female newscaster.
Audio articles are brought to you by our hometown web publishing.
That's the premium newscaster. Now we can also do just a standard audio article, which doesn't use the newscaster function. It doesn't use a lot of the machine learning and some of the subtle features of the voice. So let's take a listen at the male standard.
Audio articles are brought to you by our hometown web publishing. Ring in the new year with audio articles. A constantly changing world requires a constantly changing media platform.
So it actually sounds quite good to me. There's just like small, very subtle things like with the newscaster, you have like breathing noises between sentences, makes it sound more realistic. Other subtle differences.
Audio articles are brought to you by our hometown web publishing. Ring in the new year with audio articles. A constantly changing world requires a constantly changing media platform.
See, I mean, that sounds quite good, even the standard level. So you can come in at $40 a month if you want to try that. But for the trial, we're going to do everyone at premium. We just want you to see the best that we have to offer with this feature, with all the bells and whistles. All right. So now, the reason I wanted to just circle back and just talk about that is because what we're doing at the Clark County Democrat is this new idea that I was working on this weekend, and I want to get your feedback, Vera. So if we could do something like this and help a publisher sell more subscribers, sell more subscriptions to the website, just by going in there much more hands-on, like I almost call it like a digital subscription sales blitz. So it's not just like giving them tips on marketing better or how to price their subscriptions and just like strategic things. It's actually helping them sell, literally getting on the phone with X subscribers and trying to get them to come back, just being much more aggressive. And if we could use a feature like audio articles, the idea here is that it's a new feature out of the Clark County Democrat. So we have a reason to call all these subscribers. We have a reason to call current subscribers and just say hello, thank you for subscribing. Have you seen audio articles? Do you have any questions on it? Just like having this outreach that I don't think is happening at many newspapers. Based on your experience, Vera, I mean, I know you were at Trader's Guide, which was a free paper. I mean, but do you have any comments on that? I mean, because it seems like, and I don't know if you're able to jump on right now or if you're on the phone. Can you hear me okay? Or are you on the line?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think about this opportunity, maybe, that our hometown could, help publishers? Because we're going to start doing this at the Clark County Democrat because we have a special arrangement with them. And we're going to do this at several of Jim Cox's papers. Just to increase subscriptions. But it's basically what I'm talking about is like kind of like a telemarketing service would be a large part of it, just reaching out to X subscribers. Do you think that we would, I don't know, do you see any opportunity there to possibly grow their
Absolutely. I think it's a tremendous opportunity. We used to do that all the time. We would reach out to people who
Right.
has expired or was due to expiring and
Right.
say, hey, look, we've added this. You know, I think anything that could be marketable like this would
Right.
be an asset to any paper.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I just think a lot of publishers, they just they know they want to do it, and they probably do it, but if we could just do it more often, you know, just supplement their efforts. And as the website designers, you know, we're kind of experts here. So my idea here is that for Clark County Democrat, we do a couple things. We start off by doing weekly webinars, okay, and we advertise them on their website, okay, because again, more background on this is we basically control the website, we operate it, and we you know, collect all the subscription revenue, okay. So that's the arrangement. So like this is a one for us to start with and do our testing on, because we do fully control it and we can publish things on here. So we could run like an ad here, or run an article on the site that talks about the webinar. And hopefully we get people to come, and then we can just introduce audio articles. We can go through the functions of the e-edition. It's basically just like customer support. It's kind of like an office hours for the paper, but just, you know, focusing on the website, obviously, not the print edition, but we'd look at the e-edition. And so my idea is that this would basically be part of a sales blitz. So like we, you know, for the Clark County Democrat, maybe for the next month, we do a weekly webinar. Each webinar focuses on a different topic. We promote it like hell on the website. We can send out a newsletter to all our subscribers, get a lot of people to come, and then we close deals right on that webinar. I mean, literally, what we can do is say, create a coupon and say, anyone on the webinar today, you know, if you're not already a subscriber, you get a free month. If you are a subscriber and you're just learning more about the functions of the website, you get a free gift subscription. So you can give it to any friend or family member for a free month for them, since you're already a subscriber. Things like that. And then we can also offer those same deals when we call people. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the idea. So I guess looks like I thought we had Terry for a second. Terry, can you hear this? I'm curious what you think of this, because basically what I'm going to be doing probably, Vera, is doing a lot of these calls and working with Ashley, who does data collection for us, but she's also done a lot of cold calling. I was curious, would you be open to trying helping us with this possibly? Like, I'm gonna just work with her today, I think this afternoon, and just try to work out like the scripts, what we do when we call. But is this something that you think you could help us with?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have experience in doing cold calling and telemarketing.
Well, here's the cool thing. It's not even really a cold call. Like what we're going to be doing today is I have this spreadsheet which has got a ton of info, but this is another thing that I think we can offer as a service or just as a recommendation. Pulling together data from multiple systems on the website is really powerful. So like what this is is actually data from our newsletter system and MemberPress, the subscription system, and it's combined. So we can see things like, okay, I want to filter and show me just the people that have opened the last 2 newsletters and are an active subscriber. I can do something like that just with these filters. So yes, just the last, oh wow, so right there, there's my list. And I could expand this to include expired subscribers. And I think that would actually be a really good list to focus on. So just expired subscribers that open our newsletter from the Clark County Democrat for the last 2 weeks. You know, we could go back in time and look at more data. But you see what I'm saying here? Like this is a way, this filtering and sorting tool is a way to identify the hot leads that are worth our time to call. or just email. A personalized email is fine too, as long as it doesn't look like a newsletter. So we have everyone's email. We don't have everyone's phone number, but if they're an ex-subscriber, we do have their phone number. So that is the cool thing. Okay. So what do you think, Vera? Would it be better to call? I mean, it seems like expired subscribers are like, they're a good population to try to call, because they've been a customer before. We can at least find out why they canceled their subscription, and maybe do something about it. Maybe they have a complaint. But you see that's what this system is. It's basically like this spreadsheet is a very simple CRM that I can use to sell. So that's the idea. Okay, so we're going to be starting that this afternoon. I'm going to be working with Ashley. She's going to be calling with me on this list, and I'll follow up with you if we want to expand our efforts. But I mean, there's a lot of calling to do ahead of us. Okay, so can I get some feedback? Can you guys hear me or not? I'm not sure.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Just want to make sure. So any feedback from you, Terry? So you're saying, I'm really interested in your thoughts. Let's see. Unmute Terry. Can I unmute you? Okay, I'm not sure if she's able to join right now.
Oh, she's just as a regular attendee.
I thought you were. Oh, you can hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. I had a hard time logging in.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. No problem. Did you hear any of this idea about calling these ex-subscribers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited about it. Like, I think it's a really good angle to take. The question is, like, how costly is it going to be to pay someone to call all these people, and how many are going to convert? But, I think if we can identify signals like, their activity on the newsletter and things like that, that just like I kind of help us filter and call the most qualified people first.
Yeah, I think what you said about finding out why they let their subscription expire is a
Right.
good point too.
Right.
If we need to troubleshoot anything or make the site better, that's, yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, if nothing else, this could be a service that is like outsourcing customer support for your website a little bit. So like, when you launch your site, maybe as part of the launch deal for an extra, setup fee for this service, we'll basically hold these webinars, get feedback from people, we'll call them, we'll take a more active role, I guess. And even if it doesn't, it necessarily includes selling anything, but I think it will just, by its nature, help sell.
Yeah, generate some subscriptions. The one thing I really caution though is whenever I call a reader,
yeah,
I always ask the publisher's permission first, because eventually it's going to come back to them.
right.
And we don't want them in a bad light. So I do usually ask the customer or the publisher first.
Right. I think talking to Jim Cox about this makes sense. So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so what else here? Any other feedback like that? So you've called subscribers when like they have a problem logging in or something?
Yeah, Vera and I both will, but I always ask, because usually it's somebody from the staff that'll call us and say, hey, but actually we kind of have a standing agreement with them. If one of them, they send the readers to us. So if the reader says, so-and-so told me to call you, then that counts as permission. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if we take it from directly from a reader, they hit that have trouble logging in button, then usually ask the publisher. You know, is it okay if I call this person directly rather than responding?
Well, I think that definitely makes sense in the case of most publishers. This one is a little bit different because the online subscribers are technically our customers. Like they're directly our customers. So they're also print subscribers, however. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a tricky one, but I'm definitely going to talk to Jim about this because I want him to know what we're working on, and this is a long-standing agreement that we've had with them, but we've never really sat down and really proactively and just like figured out ways to aggressively sell subscriptions. And that's basically what this is. It's just stepping it up. And you don't even need to go all in and start calling people. You could just use this system to send them personalized emails.
Right.
That's perfectly fine. And that may be the way that we want to start today. I could just have Ashley just send them a coupon. Everyone that qualifies, that's an ex-subscriber, send them a coupon for a free month. And then let's measure how many people take us up on it. There's so many cool things we can.
You could also follow up on that,
Right.
Um,
Well, we
then
can
you-
email them, maybe we email them today, see how many people follow up with email, and then we call those same people next couple of
Right.
days.
Yeah, because chances are maybe the coupon goes to their spam or something like that. We could just follow up and say, hey, did you receive that coupon?
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you get them on the phone, I mean, think about this. We talked about being an outsourcing agency for customer support. Like that's part of what sales is just helping a person understand the product and know how to use it. So the rep, they could, part of their objective could be to get them to log in and just claim the coupon and walk them through the steps, right?
Right.
They
Yeah.
offer to do that. So they give them the coupon and say, you got 5 minutes, we can get you set up right now. Get them in there,
Right.
because especially if it's an older person, they struggle with it. The coupon doesn't work the first time. It's like, forget it.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
care. But if you get
We
them,
offer to do it for them if they have a hard time, like if they're not
Well,
tech
that's-
savvy at all, we can offer
that's
to
a
do it.
brilliant question. But here's the thing. This is what I'm thinking about. Is like, I think if we're going to do these coupons and we're going to spend time doing this, we need to be. It can't just be a free trial. End of story. I think we've got to do it like Netflix. Now this requires, it's a higher activation energy to get the person to do it, but if we have them on the phone, I feel like we can pull this off. Make it so that they still have to put in their credit card, even though they don't pay anything for the first month. Can we do that? If that form works that way? I wanted to ask Jack about it before this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Well, I would put a disclaimer on it, like in order to get your free trial, you have to authenticate your identity. That way it protects them, it protects us, and put something in there, cancel at any time. That way they have a peace of mind saying, oh, I'm not obligated, but at the same time, they know that they're going to be charged at the end of the trial. I mean, that's pretty standard practice.
It is. I think having to enter your credit card turns a lot of people off.
It turns a lot of people off. So that's the thing, is like, what is your objective? Is it to just close deals, or is it to market? Is marketing really your objective? Because if it's just marketing, then we can just give away free trials all day long and get people in there, no credit card required. And then what the good thing about that is that we capture their email and phone number in the form. That's what they'd have to give us. No credit card, but once we have their email and phone, then we can sell to them. But you see what I mean? Like, that's more of a marketing approach. If we're going strict sales, it's like, no, you got to be somewhat serious about buying to take us up on our trial. You got to be serious enough to give us a credit card.
And we can also set up a reminder that says your free trial ends in 1 week.
Definitely need to do that. Need to be totally customer friendly and just like not try to rip them off at all. Like, give them a countdown, give them all the warnings that we need to. Yeah, I agree with that. But man, there's so much that we could be doing, and we could teach publishers how to do this, how to have their own Zoom webinars where they talk about it's, you know, it's kind of merging with Fridays with the Wave a little bit, you know, in the way that he shows off the website. But
And Facebook. If you're going to do a webinar, put it on Facebook, you know, put it on your social.
oh yeah, yeah, all this stuff is marketing material. You know, even if you're talking about an article and you have the article on your screen and you're behind the paywall, that's fine. It's not really content. It's just promoting the subscriptions. So very cool. That's great feedback. Do you guys have any other comments on that?
No, I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this could be very exciting. So we're going to be launching this at these Alabama papers this week, probably starting with email. But you know, just for anyone watching this, any customers or any you know, even non-customers, this is something that we're, you know, going to develop as a service to some degree. It just depends on how complex it is, I guess. But I think at a minimum, showing people how to merge their data or possibly even creating a plugin that automatically does this so that they can come in and identify strong leads and call them themselves would be very cool. Okay, how to sell subscriptions. That's that. Now, I want to get you guys feedback on this presentation. So, Vera, were you on with the voice news on Friday? I forget, or was it just Terry?
No, it's just Terry.
Okay. If you could join us maybe for the next one where I hopefully get to present this, that would be good because I just want you to kind of be involved with that. But this is just a quick couple slides I want to show. So like I kind of came up with this idea on the call and I included it in here a little bit, the goal-oriented marketing, but really I tried to stick to what Wendy seemed to like most, which is this, you know, bronze, silver, gold presentation. Okay, so this is, I think that like they could even use this slideshow in their presentation if they want to style it up differently, they can. But you know, these are the numbers I came up with for you know, the different sponsorships. I think the numbers are definitely in the right range. They can tweak them. But here, so then I break it down further. The bronze package, very visual, you know, it's the website, it's an ad here because it's bronze. Oh, I gotta change the colors on these other ones, but, and then it's a print ad here. The silver is a print ad, but I'll make this silver. It's a medium rectangle ad here. So, I mean, just to summarize though, I'm keeping it simple, like we said, Terry, you know, so it's basically a print ad and they can tell me what they want to charge. I mean, they're charging by column inch is just so confusing to me. It'd be just, but I guess they have to do that. Leaderboard, directory, and then in the newsletter. So it's basically each package has one web ad and it's either a leaderboard or a medium rectangle. I just think presenting it like this is easier than having like a single shot of the homepage with, you know, boxes everywhere. You know, like this just breaks it down. Bronze is this, silver is this, and includes the directory. Gold is this, it's everything you saw before, slightly different. You know, it's on the front page, it's a leaderboard, and then the newsletter. Does this make sense? Does this like jive, you think, as a way to present this?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right,
I used
cool.
to do that too. For Trader's Guide, we would come up with different bundles with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this rings true to me.
Right. And so these are the pricing bundles, and this is the special deal that's only available during the Blitz. When they're selling it, it would go up to these other prices during the rest of the year. The other thing is this, I don't know if she's going to even want to show this to the advertisers, but goal-oriented marketing, I think this is a helpful way to think of it, to like give them some guidance so that, you know, no matter what your purpose is, promoting an event, we can take those packages and apply them here. So like they all include a print ad, that's the same no matter what you're doing. But then like for a web ad, the difference here is like, I don't know, just you would run an ad depending on what package you bought. If you bought the gold, it's a leaderboard ad. if you bought the bronze, it's a business card ad on the right column. But basically, we would create 2 versions of that ad. One would run up to a week before the event, and then it would change so that it stands out a little bit more right before the event. You know, and you see how that's just, and then compare that, you know, to like selling a product or service. I mean, it's not really as timely, so you don't need that ad changed effect. You know, so like these are just all different, basically applications of the sponsorship packages. I guess probably the best example of the differences is like the email. Like when you're promoting an event, you want to send a newsletter email out 1 week or 2 weeks before the event, whatever. If you're selling a product or service, then you know you kind of want to be either as a banner ad in the newsletter, or maybe they just write a newsletter for you that you know, talks about your expertise in the industry or something. It's like, it's got to be labeled as sponsored content. But if you're just trying to increase brand awareness, you know, then probably just like a month of sponsoring the newsletter is better than having one, you know, email where they talk about you. So you just would have your name at the top of the weekly newsletter that has the teasers. So for all this to really work, we've got to get their newsletter working. And I created a ticket for Jack to start sending an automated newsletter just to us from them, so they can see how easy it is, and then they can sell it. So that's basically my presentation to them. Do you have any thoughts on this slide or anything else in here?
No, I'm good. Everything makes sense. I think it's very attractive. You can engage anybody with it.
Okay, cool. Good. Yeah, I think it's kind of like, it's a good mix between like a traditional rate card and kind of like the direction I think rate cards need to go. All right, great, thank you. So that's that, goal-oriented marketing. Coming up at 12:30 here. Just wanted to show you guys some of the news from the blog here. So if we go to the home page, as you know, you can either go to our home page, scroll down here and see the blog right there, or you can log into your dashboard, and right on your dashboard page is an RSS feed of our blog. So either way, let's take a look at quickly this story. This is kind of the big story this week. We're going to be sending out a newsletter on this to all of our contacts because it's kind of big news for our industry. And it came out a couple weeks ago, but we've kind of taken our time to digest it because it's a scientific article, had a lot of details in there. And we wanted to also not just be all doom and gloom, you know, Google News manipulates your results, they're hurting local news, end of story. You know, we want to be positive and have ideas for how to fight this. So we came up with a number of blog posts that you know, basically provide suggestions on how we can improve our ranking in Google News. But you know, what this article is saying is that there is this underlying bias, and it's you know, that's just your default state. It doesn't mean that you're going to have poor Google News results. You know, if you do the right things, like what we're talking about in this article, you know, your ranking will be okay. But it's just, if you just by default, if you're not taking any action, if you're not aware of this, you know, you're gonna the national outlets are going to be prioritized over you. So let's just take a look. I'm going to actually play the audio article for this, so we can just listen. Because you know, otherwise I would just want to read this anyway. It's very well said in this post. So here we go.
Does Google News manipulate search results to prioritize national outlets? Back in September, Nature.com published an article titled Auditing Local News Presence on Google News by Sean Fisher, Pikil Judka, and Iftak Lubs. The article highlights the research performed by the trio, which ultimately supports their hypothesis that Google News favors content from large national outlets over smaller local outlets and prioritizes those sources within its search results. This is problematic for local and regional newspapers who are being negatively impacted by Google News's algorithm. You can read the abstract for the article below. Local news outlets have struggled to stay open in the more competitive market of digital media. Some have noted that this decline may be due to the ways in which digital platforms direct attention to some news outlets and not others. To test this theory, we collected 12.29 million responses to Google News searches within all U.S. counties for a set of keywords. We compared the number of local outlets reported in the results against the number of national outlets. We find that, unless consumers are searching specifically for topics of local interest, national outlets dominate search results. Features correlated with local supply and demand, such as the number of local outlets and demographics associated with local news consumption, are not related to the likelihood of finding a local news outlet. Our findings imply that platforms may be diverting web traffic and desperately needed advertising dollars away from local news.
Okay, that's kind of the take home right there. Their findings imply that these platforms, they talk about Google News here, but Facebook is an even bigger issue because as they talk about in the actual article, there's more traffic, there's more people looking for news on Facebook than on Google News, it seems. So they're getting their news more on Facebook. But anyway, all these platforms seem to be diverting web traffic away from local news outlets. So like if you're searching for a general topic, it'll send you to the New York Times rather than the local news, even if they both talk about it. So that's, it's kind of interesting because it's like, well, who's got the better authority on how to talk about this? Maybe I want to see the local perspective on this issue. Why are you showing me the New York Times? So that's just something to be aware of. But the ultimate question here is, what do we do about it? That's what I want to get to. So we've got 4 blog posts here that we've either written in the past or we wrote for this story that talk about different ways to fight this bias. So you've got just the basics on how to submit your site to Google News. That's the first step. Okay, because Google may have already created a Google News page for your site automatically, but this is what allows you to claim it, to set it up correctly, to put all the right information in there to improve the odds of it generating traffic. So you definitely want to do that. You want to use some type of a plugin for your SEO. On WordPress, we use all-in-one SEO, so all of our customers automatically have that. If you're not on our hometown but you're on WordPress, you definitely want some type of a plugin. It basically just formats the site in the most basic way that the bots need it. So it just takes care of all the essential stuff that they need to index your site. So that's going to help with general SEO as well as on Google News. This one here, adjusting the related stories block to retain readers, I thought this was a good point to make. This is a feature on all of our sites, available on all of our sites, but it needs to be activated, that basically increases the amount of activity on your site, decreases the bounce rate, and recommends articles for your readers. So when they get to the bottom of a story, it shows more from this category. So activating a feature like this is going to be good for your SEO and your Google News ranking, because your traffic is more engaged and Google sees that activity. Okay, so then using reverse publishing to update your site more frequently, that's another thing that we just know Google cares about. They're more, they're going to rank a site better if it updates a couple stories every day rather than updating 10 or 20 stories once a week. Okay, now it's obviously better to get your stories out there once a week than not at all. So, well, when we do that for full service PDF extraction, it's still excellent because we're, going to take a PDF and put it up as HTML stories. That's the number one thing. That should actually be another blog post here, just, as a basic reminder that if you're still publishing, your articles as PDFs only, you're not going to be in Google News at all. There's no way that they can pick you up whatsoever. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. But yeah, that should be another point. Just publishing frequently and publishing in HTML on the website are all going to be key to increasing your chances of ranking well. So that's article from last week's newsletter. What else here? I just want to point this out. I just tried this last night. I just put together a list of 6 articles. I'm not going to go through them right now, but just the latest stuff that I've been reading. I've seen a lot of these in other industry newsletters that I like a lot. Like Editor and Publisher has a great one, and newspapers, America's Newspapers. They both put out a ton of great content. I think Editor and Publisher has a daily newsletter that has 3 or 4 articles that I read in it at least. Some of the ones that I picked up are on the state of the industry. You know, the New York Times continues to make headlines. They just hit a new record of 7 million subscribers as digital revenue rises and print continues to decrease. So they're, you know, setting new records all the time. At Gannett, they're posting revenue declines overall, but they've topped 1 million digital subscriptions in the 3rd quarter. Also some interesting things about audio opportunities, text-to-speech translation. This is not an article related to audio articles at all. It's just things that other industry players are talking about. Digital content next. That's where this article is from. So yeah, just some things that I found interesting. So check it out. It's on the blog, on the homepage. It's just kind of my weekly rundown of interesting stories. Okay, so 12:45. Okay, great. That's the news for the blog. Thank you, Terry and Vera, for sticking around the whole time. Maybe next time we can do the FAQs earlier, but let's knock them off right now here. Can you all share your screen? Let's see. Let's start with Vera, since you're on as a panelist. I'm going to make you the presenter. And can you show us the user roles? Give us a little bit of background here. So basically, we're doing this new thing, frequently asked questions in our office hours. And these are based on questions coming from customers that you see a lot in tickets. Since Vera and Terry are answering tickets all day long, no one else would be better to bring us these FAQs. So let's see here. I think I made you the presenter. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, you can't see it?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Sorry. Okay, good. So go ahead, take it over and just say whatever you think would help the person that asked you that specific question. What were they asking about specifically? And give us any other background we can, and we'll make a tutorial video out of this.
Not a problem. The question was, I created a user, why can't they post to the newsletter or create a newsletter? And the problem was they had multiple roles. And what I did was I wrote down what each one does, and I sent them a copy of this. What they have to understand is, of course, we're the admins. The editor has basically the admin rights. The author can create articles and make posts. The contributor are kind of like the third party people who have to submit it, and the editor approves it overall. And then, of course, the subscribers are the readership. But what my problem was that I found when I was showing her, I'm just picking him as an example. I'm sorry. I know this is a poor example, but if you look, he's like an administrator. But when you scroll down to the bottom, where is it at here? Okay, other roles. Every one of these were checked. And what WordPress does is it selects the one role that has the least amount of permissions. So if you're a subscriber, you're only going to be able to read. You're not going to be able to make any changes or contribute
Right.
or to approve. So that's what a lot of people get confused. They want to hand out all these rights because by rights in our mind, the way we think, okay, this person should have these abilities, but all you need is one.
Right. Good point. This is something that comes up all the time. I know Terry tries to really emphasize this in training, but it's still something that is an issue because, yeah, it's a little bit counterintuitive. So what we want to do is definitely take a clip of this and put it on the knowledge base. But could we also maybe get that description that you mentioned sending to the person for each of these functions? Yeah, that. Can we publish this as a blog post and put it in a newsletter? Let's do that.
Absolutely. Do
I
you want me
will-
to just email it to Jack?
Yeah, email it to Jack. Perfect. And I'll add it onto the customer newsletter schedule here. So user role level descriptions and reminder that lowest level, lowest permissions is what's used. Okay. Great. Yeah, so I mean, just in general, I think we can stay away from other roles. I mean, we don't need that, do we? Why would we ever
Well,
need?
it depends on the paper. I know like Gaffney, they have people that are third party, they submit articles and I believe Cody has to approve them at the end of the week. But there's
Right.
also the
There-
office staff that they do everything that the editor does.
Right, but you're still only assigning one role. I see what Matt's saying. He wants to just remove that other roles drop
Yeah,
down.
let me just email. Why? Yeah. Does that make sense, Vera? Can you think of any real reason that you would need? Because you just give them the maximum, the highest level that they need. If they want to feel like a subscriber, but they also need to create articles, then make them an editor. I mean, they're not going to really be able to see exactly what a subscriber sees, but it's fine. You know, that this creates too many problems. And we can explain it to people, but I think it'd just be so much easier to just remove this. So let me just
Yeah.
see.
I think you're right. I think that that's a good idea. And if they need something tailor made, like I can't remember the paper, it escapes me right now, but they only wanted the contributor access. We could do that for them. We can turn it on for that particular user because it's a rare occurrence. We don't have that all the time.
Right. Restricting their own permissions too much. Okay. Hold on. On user, new user page, I guess. Or this that you're editing the user. It's new or edit user. That's the page you're on. Okay, can we remove other roles options on edit user? Okay, hopefully that's clear. It's very basic orders for James. Okay, so we'll have a ticket coming in. That should go over to James, that question. Okay, good. Great FAQ though. For the time being, that's how we deal with it. We just need to know that it's probably they have too many roles. Great FAQ, Vera. Thank you very much for leading us through that. Let's go ahead and switch it over to Terry, if I can. So yeah,
Yeah, I sent it back to you.
Terry, it says you're just an attendee, but we can hear you. That's weird.
Yeah.
I think you unmuted her.
I didn't have any.
Oh, I can do that for I've never done that. All right, well, let me make Terry the presenter. Okay, great. All right, so what do we got? We got a real case study here from a customer, right? They asked us this exact question that you're going to show us, Terry, right? And
Yep.
you're going to do it for them as we demonstrate for hundreds of future publishers. Great. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, this is the ticket that we got. Because I
Okay.
tried inserting the link to YouTube, but couldn't figure out how to get it to show the video in the article.
Right.
So this is a paper, and I held off on doing this just so that I could show everybody how to do this. This is Los Latina Central in Pennsylvania, bilingual newspaper. And she asked us to look for a specific article. She has in Lancaster. And when we look at it, we can see, you know, she's got the link right here, but it doesn't show in the article.
Right.
And it's a super easy fix. This is the link that you grab from YouTube. That share link. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go up and edit article.
Great.
Go to visual tab here. Oops. Okay, so she just pasted the link in here, which is good. I mean, it's clickable. It'll get the reader to the YouTube video. But what
Right.
you really want to do is click Add Media and Insert from URL.
Okay.
We're going to paste the URL in there and look for our blue button, Insert into Post.
Okay. Oh, nice. And so you know that you did it right if you had the preview like that.
Right, and there's our video, and just click Done and Update.
Cool. Now I want to check that out on my phone because I've noticed sometimes there are issues with the way videos look on phones if you don't do it the way you just did it. So I'm sure it'll look fine, but I'm just going to check. So that's Lavas. What's the URL on that? Lavas Latina.
Latina Central PA. I'm gonna click my permalink. And there's the video.
Okay, looks good. Now let's check out the mobile version.
And I'm actually going to go back in and edit this article to remove the one that's pasted there, because we don't need that anymore.
Okay. Celebrate.
How's it look on?
I'm not seeing that article on the home page. What category is it in?
It's not on the home page. It's under News Lancaster,
Okay.
and it's We Celebrate. I'm not sure how to say the gentleman's name, Elio Garcia.
Okay. There it is.
How's
So
it look on mobile?
the featured image. Interesting. Did you already? She already had that featured image on there, right?
Yes, she had a featured image.
Okay, great. This looks good. Look at that.
Yep.
So it's embedded perfectly. It's not like extending off the screen. You can
Right.
just do it.
Okay, so super easy. Just rather than just pasting the URL, you want to click the Add Media button and then from the URL. You want to click
Right.
that.
Now, a lot of people maybe try to do it where they take the embed code from YouTube. Is that
Mhm.
not recommended as far as you know? Like this clearly works, so I would just always use this. But if someone is used to using the embed code, is that okay too, or do you know?
I think you probably could, but you need to do that in the text editor and not
Right.
the
Not
body.
through the widget, the video, adding
Right.
video. Yeah. No, probably cleaner to just have it in the proper video widget. So
Right. So just to run through that again, it's click Add Media and look for Insert from URL. This is what you want to use. And then you just paste your link in the top line.
beautiful. And then it will just insert wherever you had the cursor.
Right.
Perfect. Okay.
Super, super easy. It makes you feel like you're in the video business.
Right, right. Yeah, they make it super easy with YouTube and WordPress. Great. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about or show us today?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm good too.
So the next
Okay.
ticket.
Yep, on to the next ticket. All right. Yeah, keep tracking those FAQs and we'll keep working down that list every week. But this was great. Thank you both very much and we'll talk to you later.
Have a
Thanks,
good day.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Take care.